Happy day after daylight saving day. How are you holding up for that? Everyone all right? Yesterday morning was our annual reminder that we aren't as smart as our microwave ovens. And Guillermo had a big weekend. Congratulations to you, Guillermo.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy.
You're welcome. Now, this is from a horse race in Tampa Bay on Saturday, and it would seem that we have a winner in our midst.
King Guillermo now going to the lead inside the final furlong. Do you believe this? King Guillermo, he doesn't just win it, he wins it off impressively.
Look, a Mayaki!
I had no idea you were racing. What's your horse's name, Guillermo?
Pepe.
Pepe, okay. It's also his dog's name, coincidentally. The coronavirus, this coronavirus is all I hear about from... Woo! People are selling off stocks and buying up toilet paper. And if you are buying up toilet paper, I have a question. Why are you buying up toilet paper? I think you've got the body upside down because people are canceling events. The South by Southwest Festival in Austin was canceled over the weekend. There's talk they may hold NBA games with no fans in the crowd. Italy, the country, is closed. For real. You know, I try not to get too worked up about this sort of thing, but then I saw this headline over the weekend, and for me, now this is serious. Costco is pulling their free samples. Trump needs to send Mike Pence to Costco to figure this out right now. This was also scary news for Costco shoppers. This was from the weekend, too. OJ posted, coronavirus? Who's afraid? I don't know, are those two separate questions or one? Because whenever you're out in a mask, we're afraid, all of us. I've been doing my part to fight the coronavirus. The virus we are trying to spread is called the L-bump. There it is, E-L-B-U-M-P. We branded this last week, and it seems to be catching on. For instance, on Kelly and Ryan, there's Whitney Cummings doing the L-bump very elegantly. There's Mike and Tony from Pardon the Interruption. Jaimin Hansu was on Kelly and Ryan. He did the L-bump. Oh, we got Coach K and Roy Williams doing it. Even Vice President Mike Pence is participating. Put it there, soul brother. So keep doing that. Just get in the habit of doing it. The president publicly seems determined to keep shaking hands. He has said that he will not cancel his rallies, but a report today from Vanity Fair says he is privately terrified about getting the virus and thinks journalists will try to purposefully contract coronavirus to give it to him on Air Force One. Well, that doesn't seem paranoid at all. On Friday, the president signed a funding bill from Congress to help combat the virus. And really pay attention to what he says here.
So we're signing the $8.3 billion. I asked for 2.5, and I got 8.3, and I'll take it.
Okay. He only asked for $2.5 billion. Congress said, we authorize $8.3 billion, and he's bragging that he wanted less? I don't know. It doesn't... He somehow finds a way to brag about everything. And at the signing, somebody asked him about Elizabeth Warren and whether sexism played a role in her campaign not working out. And you're going to be surprised to hear he doesn't.
She destroyed Mike Bloomberg very quickly, like it was nothing. That was easy for her. But people don't like her. She's a very mean person, and people don't like her. People don't want that. They like a person like me that's not mean. Okay, I'll see you guys.
See you, losers. I like when he unbuttons his shirt a little. It's very sexy. So, Trump was up bright and early this morning trying to downplay the virus. He wrote, so last year, 37,000 Americans died from the common flu. It averages between 27,000 and 70,000 per year. Nothing is shut down. Life and the economy go on. At this moment, there are 546 confirmed cases of coronavirus with 22 deaths. Think about that. No, you think about that. You're the one who's president. 546 and 22 deaths is not good news. If you found out 546 of your friends were on TikTok, you wouldn't be like, okay, well, thank God that's over. The president stopped by CDC headquarters on Friday. That is the Center for Disease Control, to explain to the experts who are working on the virus that he's an expert too.
And I like this stuff. You know, my uncle was a great person. He was at MIT. He taught at MIT for, I think, like a record number of years. He was a great super genius, Dr. John Trump. I like this stuff. I really get it. People are surprised that I understand it. Every one of these doctors said, how do you know so much about this? Maybe I have a natural ability. Maybe I should have done that instead of running for president.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. And think of all the Nobel Prizes you would have won by now. Everyone relax. Trump's uncle was a super genius. The president then treated these health officials to another helping of humility. Watch the guy on the right here. This is Dr. Steve Monroe. He's one of the top experts on lab science and safety in the world. And watch his face as the president speaks.
They're making millions of more as we speak. But as of right now and yesterday, anybody that needs a test, that's the important thing. And the tests are all perfect. Like the letter was perfect. The transcription was perfect. This was not as perfect as that, but pretty good.
The look was some kind of a mix between I wish I was dead and oh my God, we're actually going to be dead. But the tests are perfect. Everything's perfect. That's why Trump fired his chief of staff over the weekend. He was too perfect. Mick Mulvaney, Trump's 4th chief of staff in 3 years, is out. He'll be replaced by Congressman Mark Meadows. Mick Mulvaney, now Mark Meadows. He's working his way through the M, so keep your fingers crossed, Matthew Modine. Meanwhile, Trump was apparently upset that Mulvaney went to Vegas during this corona emergency, which would make sense if he himself hadn't been upset from his vacation home in Florida where he went during the emergency. Now, efforts are being made to slow the virus on a local level. The mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio, is urging New Yorkers to stay indoors and stay off the subway. Basically, the mayor is telling New Yorkers to avoid New York at all costs. De Blasio also said New Yorkers should refrain from shaking hands, which that one shouldn't be a problem. Most New Yorkers don't even like to make eye contact with one another. But this report, to me, really, it shines a light on how the coronavirus is being received in the Big Apple.
I'm not doing anything different. I still wash my hands when I go eat or go out. You know, I still wash up.
Yes, I'm washing my hands for at least 20 seconds, often.
I'm washing my hands more, but not for 20 seconds. I don't have the patience for that.
But she did have the patience to tie that scarf into 6 giant knots. That's why I always say, be patient or be a patient. It's been my motto since 1973. This is interesting. Senator Ted Cruz announced yesterday he's placed himself under self-quarantine because of the virus. So every cloud has a silver lining, I guess. Ted calls it a self-quarantine. Others call it having no friends. But Ted Cruz decided to put himself under house arrest because he shook hands with a carrier at CPAC the week before last. And I am worried about Ted. He's actually spending his quarantine backstage at our show. Can we bring him out for a second? Oh, here he is right here. Okay, there he is. Well, hey, Senator, I do want to ask, is everything okay in there?
I'm doing fine, Jimmy. Just doing my part to keep America safe.
Okay, well, that's what I like to hear. I hope you're okay. I really do.
Thanks, Jimmy. Could I get a sprinkle of that food?
Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. I'll give you a little. There, eat it all, okay? Hey, you know what? He's got some algae on his belly. Let's get that cleaned off. He's a senator. Have some respect, for God's sake. I'll see you later, Senator Cruz. Good luck. Hey. Was that more than you're supposed to give? Joe Biden is not under self-quarantine. He is out there spreading his brand of kooky common sense to anybody who'll listen, including this confused crowd in Kansas City.
Turn this primary from a campaign that's about negative attacks into one about what we're for, because we cannot get reelected. We cannot win this reelection. Excuse me, we can only reelect Donald Trump if, in fact, we get engaged in this circular firing squad.
Oh, boy. Like, I don't know, it feels, it's kind of, it's like he's losing a debate against himself. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel, and this is the internet. I made it myself. Hit subscribe if you like it.